Well, hello there, friends. I hope this video finds everybody doing well and in good spirits. And I'll do a quick introduction here. One of my viewers, after watching the Frozen Foot Mountain Man Rendezvous video that I recorded, spied my firebox and asked me if I knew where he could purchase one. The answer is no, because I actually manufactured that. When we purchased our property here, we had a modular home brought in, and when the tongues were removed, they asked me if I wanted to keep the tongues, and my obvious answer, being a metal worker, was hell yeah. And over the years, I've been making smaller fireboxes out of that material, and I got down to the point after being here 17 years that I only had a certain amount of that trailer tongue left. And because of the arthritis that's eating away at my feet and knees, I don't know what's more funnier to watch. Me try to get up off the ground, or watch a turtle try to right itself up once it's on its back. They're both pretty comical. So because of my health problems that are associated with growing old, I can't get up off the ground any longer maintaining a campfire. So I built the box so that I could stay up off the ground. So what I'm going to do for the benefit of David M is I'm going to give you the measurements of this firebox as I built it and as it's appropriate for me for using at a rendezvous. So let me get resituated here. The firebox is in another spot. I've already taken it off the ground so that I can give everybody the measurements. And there again, if you're having a tough time sourcing material, you might want to call some of these, manufactured home companies that deliver homes. Most of the time, those tongues are taken off and they just take them back with them. And I don't know if they resell them back to the manufacturer, but I'm sure that you could probably give them a call and see if you can't source some of those trailer tongues, because it's pretty good material. All right, let's get into the measurements for you here. Okay, here's the firebox. It's sitting on a stump. But these are the pieces. I've got the crossovers, and the crossovers are made out of 1/2-inch square stock. Of course, been following this channel, you see that I've got a forge, so I do all the forging myself. I can't tell you right off the bat where I got the grate, but having plenty of stock, I made these extensions, and I actually grooved a spot in this firebox so they can set, and I can actually move it to this end and still have it set in the notches. Thing that I learned early on, the first time I took this out and put the grate on it, I couldn't keep it in one spot, so that was an afterthought. So you might want to think about, finding a way to secure your grate in there. These are the legs, removable because I want everything portable. And then I made this little auxiliary shelf right here to hold the coffee pot once the coffee pot's hot. And here again, everything was manufactured by myself. So these are the components. This is, not necessary for anybody, obviously, but for me it's just convenient to put a coffee pot right there. And it does, it does hold the coffee pot really, really well. But obviously you can see just the right type of movement and it can fall. So I'm very cautious with this. So the length of my legs are 17 inches. But obviously you can make the length of your legs whatever you want. I just kind of started real long and then started cutting them down until I figured out what was a comfortable height for me to work with off the ground. I have some 1/2-inch tubing that the legs insert in, and I did cap them. And how I found where to place the legs is I just took a square and I just crisscrossed it and then placed them at the appropriate angle. Okay. All right, let me get around and take the rest of this apart, and I'll give you some more dimensions. Okay, this is the opening. I'm at about 20.5, 21 inches, something like that. You know, you can adjust these as you wish, but this is my overall measurements. Okay, and the width is about 13.5. Okay, and it is about 9.25, 9.5 inches tall. Okay, now if you look at this, you can see that it's angled in. It comes down straight right here, and then I angled it in to the inside. Okay, and obviously I got vent holes drilled on both ends, and I also have some holes drilled on the inside, on the bottom, and that's for water drainage. A lot of times at these mountain man rendezvous that I go to, it's in the middle of the monsoon season, and we do get monsoons. Now bear in mind too, this particular steel, these trailer tongues, is actually I-beam steel. So I cut the top of the I-beam off, but I left the bottom portion of the I-beam because that's what I placed the bottom of this firebox on. And I think you can kind of see that there. And I also, on this side, where the 1/2-inch tubing is, you have to kind of like notch them out just a little bit to give you room for that tubing to put your legs in. So that's the bottom shot, and you can see how advantageous it is to leave the bottom portion of the I-beam on, because it becomes a very, very good support for that bottom plate, and it's a good place to build from. Now as far as this angle, you know, you can pretty much do what you want with that, but let me give you the measurement of these pieces. The top straight piece here is about 3.5, and my angled piece is approximately 6.5, maybe 6.25. There again, these are just rough dimensions that I worked with. You can figure out your own dimensions and what's going to suit best for you. But this is how I did it for myself. The width of the bottom plate, about 8.5 inches, and the length is going to be, you know, about the 20.5. You know, once you get the end pieces put on, then you'll have just the dimension of what the bottom plate is. And also for the angle, best I can get you right here, they're angled in at about 2.5 inches. One thing that I do plan on doing before the next rendezvous is I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole in the square stock into the leg and kind of like tap it so that I can hold them in place with just a bolt or something. Not that this gets moved at rendezvous, but it just makes it a little easier when I go to set it up, having the legs be stationary. So it's right at 1/4 inch. So it's pretty good steel for this application. So I hope this kind of gives you a direction to go in. There again, because I'm a welder, I'm a metal fabricator, when I was asked if I wanted to keep those trailer tongues, it's like, hell yes. And over the years, like I've said, I've made other fireboxes smaller than this, but very atypical for a rendezvous. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Give it a thumbs up. And also share it with your bestest of buddies. Have a wonderful week. Bye.